I just want to discuss some topics about
Okay.
parenting, early childhood education. It seems to be a very isolating field.
It definitely is. And I think a lot of the times when I go on mom groups, because I'm like in pretty much every single mom group in Brooklyn, whether it's autism related or if it's just mom related or if it's just moms talking, there's always this great debate about moms and who has it worse. Is it a stay-at-home mom or a working mom?
See, I avoid these groups because I am a working mom.
Hmm.
And a lot of the times I do have the mom guilt, but a lot of the times I'm really, really looking forward to get out of
It's
there.
true. I mean, I personally had it three ways. So, like, when my son was born, we decided it was time to take time off because it was not worth paying a babysitter in Brooklyn because it's like a lot. So, we decided that I'm going to stay at home for a year. So, I was like not working, not doing anything, just taking care of my kid. And then after that, COVID happened, so he didn't go into daycare. We were, trying to do daycare at 1 year old. And then we transitioned to you need to get a job. My husband was like, I'm done paying for this. So I'm like, I go out there and I'm like, well, what am I going to do? Like, where am I sending my kid? Who's staying with him? So I started looking for like work from home jobs. And I found one with Test and Trace working for the city. I did working from home with a 2 year old with service providers coming in like 5 times a day. So I was like cleaning, working in between, and then finally I got back into the real world at 2. I sent him to daycare, and I was coming out of the house into the office, and he was going to daycare. And personally, stay-at-home mom is definitely easier than the other two.
So my experience is a little different. I had children in each one of my decades.
Okay.
I had a child in my 20s who I stayed home with, but I also went to grad school at the time and got my master's degree. And then in my 30s, I had my daughter, opened a business, had field work with my therapy, and now I had another one. So it's been an interesting ride for 3 decades.
Yeah. So how was it? How does it feel like every 10 years? Which one was the easiest? The younger you are or the older you are?
When I stayed at home with my son, I felt like I lost a part of myself
Mm,
because of the routine and the everyday and the same thing. I felt like just mentally drained.
drained.
With my daughter, although it was a million things at the same time, opening up the business, working my cases, having a newborn, I was not as tired.
Yeah.
And I felt like this is okay. I can do this in my heels.
Yeah. And there's actually something interesting. So, like, a lot of parents are talking about how it's so tiring to be a parent, gray hair, no sleep. But there's actually a study that just came out 3 days ago.
Oh wow.
And this study actually focuses on how parents' brains may be getting an unexpected benefit from raising children. So this benefit is protection against aging, the effects of aging on the brain. And this study included 37,000 adults, and it was released by Rutgers and Yale. And it found that parents show patterns of brain connectivity that directly oppose typical age-related changes, with the effect strengthening with each additional child. So basically, the more kids you have, the better off you
So
are.
I have some decades ahead of me.
You have some decades ahead of you. And I mean, basically, from what this is stating, potentially you may be at a lower risk for like dementia, Alzheimer's, which is great because your brain is working
But
better.
I feel like I have that now.
Well, it's just a phase.
I feel like juggling between my household
Yeah.
and my work household.
Yeah.
I feel sometimes like I have total brain fog.
Yeah. I felt like that.
Total.
I feel like that every day.
I forget things that I need to do at work, or I forget things that I need to take care of for home. And just the cross between the two, it gets overwhelming. But I really think that you can do it.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I definitely feel you on the brain fog. I have that every day. I had it last night when I was like, oh, this. I'm like thinking about this morning because there was a lot going on, and I'm like, when I got home yesterday, I'm like, I need to order Instacart because we're out of the juice that my son drinks because he's like this is going to a topic of picky eating. So
I woke up at 2 a.m. A couple of days ago, remembering that I didn't order my Instacart.
So
2 a.m.
I remember last night at 10 o'clock. Luckily, Stop and Shop delivered. So we had juice this morning. But, and again, like going back to this is, but it's stating that we technically, over time, we should be developing like more profound brain connections. And they actually found that this study is not only affecting women, it's affecting men too. So like basically fathers who are raising children alongside mothers are also seeing the same effect. So it's showing that it's more of an experience factor versus a biological
Nobody
factor.
talks about dad guilt. Doesn't
That's
that
true.
exist?
I mean, I think so. I think that even though like we're out there working, I think that men are losing time because I feel like men do go out more, like work more, not work more essentially, but like I feel like a lot of men pick up overtime and additional hours to make up for, let's say, a gap in pay between men and women. I know my husband does. He works 50 to 60 hours a week overtime, well, 2 weeks overtime. So I do think that, you know, a lot of the times they do have that guilt. And I think it's also like between picking like
Next time
hours
we
of
get
work.
a father on here.
We do need a father. Nick? We do. We have one today. But basically, so this study is showing that regions that decrease in function connectivity as individuals age, these are the same regions that are associated with increased connectivity when individuals have had children. So the research analyzed brain scans and family information from the UK Biobank, which is a large-scale biomedical database and research source, and the analysis showed how different brain regions communicate with each other. The team focused particularly on areas involving the movement, sensation, and social connection. And what they found is that parents with more children tended to have stronger connections in key brain networks, especially those involved in movement and sensation. And the same networks typically show decreased connections as people age. Further, they found that assumptions that having children primarily creates stress and strain, which is true in a sense, but there is a silver lining. The research suggests that parenting may provide a form of environmental enrichment that could benefit the brain health through increased physical activity, social interaction, and cognitive stimulation.
Very interesting. We're going to see where this takes us. Because this is a new study and it's not finished yet. I think they're in the middle of the study. Mm-hmm. So there should be more findings that are going to be coming out eventually. So we're going to keep an eye out on this one. We're gonna definitely start this.